All right guys, the Hairline Bros are back, which only means one thing. You've been asking for a massive Sledghammer update. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go back to Christmas, December 2022. Damon Farr, my best friend, driving on the street, and all of a sudden 3 men came out and the car was violently attacked.
Small man with a small dick.
So you hit my car with that.
Oh, I don't know, did I?
You did.
Oh, no, you did that on video.
Before we get into the massive details, I have a piece of evidence to present to the court today. I present to the jury Exhibit A. What is
Hold on. We're not in court.
I object! No, I object! We're not doing this. The truth shall come free. All right, time to get serious. Boys, what's going on? Where are the money?
Well, first of all, Dave, you weren't there. So we'll start with that.
So you're not going to be getting any money. In fact, our attorney fees are going to be coming out of your salary.
I like that.
They obviously watch the videos.
Let's recap where we're at. It's been a while since we made a video about this, so just so you guys are aware, this lawsuit was filed against 4 defendants. So just so you recall, we have Sledghammer, we have Green Shirt, and Green Shirt's company. Those are the 4 defendants what this lawsuit's about. It all stems from the windshield, and then the other individuals had some very mean words to say towards my client, amongst other things, not just that. So that's kind of where we're at. Quick recap of why we're here.
So as you guys recall in the last video, we were getting ready to depose one of the defendants in the case. Now, just to remind you guys what a deposition is, that's where us, the attorneys, ask one of the parties in the case a bunch of questions and they have to answer under penalty of perjury. So if they lie, they could be facing perjury charges, which is a felony. Now, did that deposition end up happening? Stay tuned, you'll want to find out.
4 defendants to talk about. Sledghammer, Sledghammer's boss, Green Shirt, Green Shirt's company, and now, his lawyers do not want me talking about. In fact, I have a document that I have to read word for word.
Hold on, Dave. This is really juicy. And so we're gonna get into this in a little bit, but I think right now we should get into the technical stuff about the case, and we'll talk about this a little bit later.
Let's start with Sledghammer, who's the one that actually hit the windshield. Now, he got a criminal charge and has to go see a judge. Has it happened yet?
Yes, so he has been in front of a judge and he's been convicted. Now, we're gonna go into 3 things about Sledghammer's criminal investigation. 1, how did the court come to this decision? 2, what was he convicted of? And 3, how does this conviction affect his life? So we'll start with number 1. How did the court come to this decision? Firstly, somebody at the district attorney's office actually gave Damon a call about this case, being that Damon is the victim. They wanted to get his input. So they talked to Damon about, how do you want to proceed? And he said, well, I understand this guy has priors. I don't want him to end up in jail for another felony. He said, I understand that this is a car at the end of the day and this guy made a mistake and he needs to be punished, but do I want to ruin the guy's life? I don't. The district attorney's office pretty much told Damon that they can reduce his felony charge to a misdemeanor. Now we'll explain the difference between the 2 in just a second, but just know that he was charged with that felony because the vandalism was over $5,000. The felony does carry jail time.
Another thing Damon considered when he was asked by the district attorney was what actually happened on the date of the incident. So Sledghammer, we know Sledghammer took the sledgehammer and smacked the Lamborghini's windshield. But he remembered that it was actually Sledghammer's employer who who was told by his employer to steal the vehicle. In fact, I think he told him to do it twice.
Derek, jump in his car and drive it away.
There you go.
Drive it away.
Instead of that, obviously the Lamborghini was an idol, so I doubt Sledghammer knew what to do with that. So instead, he smacked the windshield with the sledgehammer. Damon, at the end of the day, is a very reasonable guy, and to him, he understands that cars and property can be replaced, and so he didn't want to ruin the guy's life. He realized, look, what he did was wrong and he should be punished for that, but do I really want to send him off to jail? No, I don't. He asked the district attorney's office, is there anything that we can do to maybe reduce the criminal charges? And they said, yes, we can do a misdemeanor, and now he's been convicted and has 1 year of probation.
Now, let's explain what that probation does to him. Every US citizen carries what's called a 4th Amendment right. Now, the 4th Amendment protects you against law enforcement's unreasonable search and seizures. When you are now under probation, you lose your 4th Amendment right. And let me tell you guys, that is a huge deal. Officer wants to pull you over for a traffic violation, they need probable cause that you were committing a traffic violation. But now, when an officer runs your plate, as they always do, they can see who the registered owner is, they can see his priors, they can see any felonies, and then if they see that you're on probation, which they can pull up on that search, they now don't need any probable cause to pull you over. They can pull you over just because they know that you're on probation and they're bored, they're having a bad day. They're like, let's get this guy.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's a huge deal, guys, to be on probation.
Not only are they allowed to pull you over, they can search your vehicle because you're on probation. So it's more than just going through this 1 year of getting pulled over. You can have your vehicle searched, and if they find anything, you don't have that Fourth Amendment protection anymore. If they find anything illegal in your car, you will face criminal charges once again. Probation is actually kind of simple. The court's telling you, hey, don't engage in any more criminal activity. And if you do and you commit a crime, we're gonna pull you back into court. And not only will you be charged with the crime of violating your probation, but we're also gonna increase that misdemeanor crime to a felony and say, look, we let you off the hook last time and we thought you were gonna be a good boy, you messed up, and now we're gonna throw you in jail under felony charges. So there's more to it here. Obviously, he was convicted of misdemeanor vandalism, but if you guys recall in the video, and we can replay the clip, Sledghammer told the police, hey, that windshield was cracked when I got here.
On my car, the window was broken. The window was broken.
But he told the court when he went to court for his criminal hearing that, hey, I did in fact do the crime, and he pled guilty. And that's why he's been convicted of misdemeanor vandalism, and justice was served on the criminal side. So the criminal side of the case, that part is complete. Now we're gonna shift into the civil side, which is where we come into play.
The criminal stuff's done, but there's a whole civil side, which means he's not done with the court yet. He has to go and defend himself civilly, which is the damages. My question to you guys is, he said he was guilty, so what's his defense civilly?
There is no defense. And you know, we've given this guy multiple opportunities to get himself out of the case. As you guys remember, this guy's representing himself, which is a really bad idea, especially when we have court coming up soon. And when I say court, I mean trial in front of a jury. When you're representing yourself, it doesn't go very well. I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube about people trying to represent themselves in court without a lawyer. We've tried to go easy on this guy, and we've given him opportunities to get himself out. He's not taking advantage of those, and so we're headed to court.
Okay, let's chat Green Shirt. Who's the one who told Sledghammer to do the crime in the first place?
All right, we're gonna dive into Green Shirt and his company. So Green Shirt is insured on an individual level through his homeowner's insurance. Now, they've hired a legal team to help defend him in this claim. Now, for the company, they're actually uninsured, which means that Green Shirt has to pay for a separate attorney on his own accord to defend the company in this lawsuit as well. Pretty much, the legal team on the individual side of Green Shirt is kind of handling both, and early on in this case, they made a settlement offer to us, which we declined and said we need some time. Some time went by. Damon, being the reasonable guy that he is, and doesn't want this to drag on forever, and decided, you know what? We'll take you up on that settlement offer. His legal team pretty much told us, screw you guys, the offer's off the table, and got really aggressive since that day.
In fact, they're getting so aggressive to the point to where it really doesn't make any sense. If you guys remember, Damon was involved in the McLaren accident, and we represented him in that case because we're accident attorneys. And so Damon saw a doctor, and attorneys attempted to subpoena the medical records for the visits Damon saw with that doctor, which is completely unrelated to this case. So when that subpoena came in, we put a stop to it and said, look, you guys are engaging in a fishing expedition, requesting records here and there that are completely unrelated here, and we're not gonna allow that to continue on. And we put a stop to it. The question becomes, why is this happening? Because we know that attorneys are being paid through the homeowner's insurance. And these guys, and look, this is just speculation, this is my theory. It seems that because they're billing every hour, every email, every call, then the longer this drags out, the more the attorneys get paid. It really doesn't make any sense when we provide an opportunity to resolve the case that would probably be less than the amount it would cost the insurance company if we were to continue on through depositions, trial preparation, and eventually going to trial. But here we are. Damon did nothing wrong here. Damon was driving down the street until he was stopped, harassed, assaulted, and had his vehicle vandalized. So if we take this to trial, we don't mind. We're ready to go. We know the trial verdict is going to be in our favor. If they want to take this the distance, game on.
Talk about zero accountability, like none. If I was the insurance company, I'd be pissed right now.
Yeah, well, let me make it really simple for you guys. It's the insurance company's job when they're involved in an action like this to save as much money as possible. And when Damon was willing to accept the initial, what we consider to be a lowball offer, they should have taken advantage of that. They decided not to, and now the amount of money that we could have settled for is easily gonna be burnt through once we get through the deposition phase of the case. If this case presents itself to trial, that offer is easily gonna double or triple in attorney fees and court costs. So in terms of the insurance company's position on this, it really doesn't make any sense.
And that doesn't include the judgment in the end. This is just legal fees.
That's exactly right.
I'd be pissed. And now for the juicy part. Beanie has been dismissed from the case.
Which isn't necessarily true. He hasn't been dismissed yet.
I'm only allowed to say what's written here.
Fair.
I can't get into the details, but I'm glad I don't have to see him again.
You gotta keep the hand going too. You gotta keep the hand going.
Dude, that's so
Gotta keep the hand going.
I'm only allowed to read what's written here.
Fair. Fair.
God damn it.
You. You. So
The deep breath. That's good. Right now.
We gotta do it again.